Welcome back to another video. So I just went on vacation. I just got back a little while ago and put some use into the car trailer, the Expedition, and picked up a small project for a bit. It's not mine, it's my father-in-law's. He asked me to do some work on it, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. But in this video, I wanted to go over my experiences towing with the Expedition. If you guys have seen the previous videos, I went ahead and towed a 86 F-150 with the Dodge. Brought it from somewhere in Missouri to where I live. And it was about a 6-hour round trip, so 3 hours out, 3 hours back with the 86. And it was a single cab, long bed F-150 on my 18-foot car hauler. So with the Dodge, I got around 14 miles per gallon, 15 almost, which is about right for that truck. It is what it is. That's about what it gets when it's towing. However, going basically a 1,600 mile round trip, it's 800 miles and some change there and 800 miles and change back to Virginia. I went ahead and brought the 86 with me with the Expedition. So if you guys are not familiar, this is my 2012 Expedition that I picked up to basically replace the dually in terms of capabilities. And my main concern is every time I need something of this caliber, usually I bring people places, so I wanted the interior space over the bed and just kind of fit the bill. It's quite a bit cheaper than a F-150 of the same generation, same motor, same pretty much everything. So this is it. It's going to get a car wash. It's pretty filthy at the moment, but I wanted to go over my experiences towing with it. So quick little backstory. When we got it, it did need some maintenance. It has 150,000 miles on it, 5.4 liter V8. It is the Triton 3 valve, has the 6R80 transmission in it. Pretty stout vehicle. It's rated to tow 9,200 pounds. So obviously, as you guys can see, that's the bug project that we're going to be working on in a bit. And that's obviously the car trailer we're towing. So I'll throw a couple pictures in as we go, but on my way, the big thing I wanted to knock on is oil consumption, which round trip while I was there and everything on the way back, about midway back, I noticed it was going a little bit down on the dipstick, still well within the safe zone, but I added about half a quart just to be safe. So really compared to other vehicles I've towed with and even the 5.0s, basically no oil consumption, so that was awesome. Oil leak is good. It was the filter after all that was having issues. I just over tightened it, but we did front differential, transmission fluid, and rear differential, transfer case, all the fluids, getting everything good. We did our oil filter adapter housing gasket that was leaking, and when I went ahead and did that, we also did basically a radiator refill at that point because the old fluid, well, just about all of it drained out. So all in all, it did great. Miles per gallon wise, we got 9.6 on the way there. And after we got off the F-150 and put on the Bug, we got about 10.7 on the way back. And if you're not familiar, between here and Virginia is the Blue Ridge Mountains, so there's a lot of terrain that's not very flat. As soon as you hit Kentucky, basically, you're in hills, then West Virginia, Virginia, and onward. Pretty solid, though. I towed great. It never felt like it was down for power. I was able to pretty much maintain 75 the whole way. RPM stayed relatively normal. I think the highest it would upshift maybe into fourth gear, and it would go to, I think that's about right, probably third gear, and it would shoot to about 4,500 RPM on a especially steep hill to maintain speed, and then it would drop back down. Usually it would upshift to about 3,500 RPM and then stayed somewhere in there. So really can't complain. The thing did awesome. A little bit of squat in the back from when we were towing, but nothing too crazy. So all in all, really happy with it. Did awesome. Expedition is a big win, and it did great for my towing needs. So that's pretty much going to do it for that. Oh, and I almost forgot miles per gallon. No, I did say that. So yeah, we're good. Expedition, good to go. So let's move on to the trailer and the Bug. So I picked up this car trailer a little while back. It still looks a little bit rough, mostly the wheels. I plan to get some of the newer style bullet steel wheels because I think they just look better. But for now, this is what it is. So I was up to my buddies in Virginia. Huge help to me. And we got some fenders on here, and he was helping me weld. One of these is my crappy welds, and the rest of them are his, which are a bit better. And it's a trailer. It's not the end of the world. I think that one's mine. But yeah, so I never welded before, so that was kind of cool to get done. I know we're going to get to the Bug in a minute. Holy cow, there's a lot of mosquitoes out now. Summer's in full tilt here. Put new lights on it, which look great. If you can see them right here, they fit in quite a bit nicer than the old ones. Got some D-rings, and they got all welded on, so I put on 3 on each side, so 1, 2, and 3. I did straighten out my trailer ramps. I don't know if you guys noticed they were bent in one of the videos, but I straightened them all out. The problem is they are actually longer. Well, it's good for me. They're longer than what I need. That originally came with this, about a foot, so they stick out a foot on either side in the actual natural holders right here, so I might need to either figure out something with that. But that's a later me problem. Tires are good, suspension's good. Trailer's solid. I'm a big fan of it. Worked out great for me, towed really well. But yeah, I also redid the wiring. I had a nice junction box. So we got trailer brakes and all that stuff working, and huge improvements. I'll throw in some other pictures of the old setup, new pin and some other stuff in here. But yeah, paint job, fenders, D-rings, straighten out the trailer amps. You got some straps with us and everything, and we're good to go. So that pretty much does it on the trailer update. That's because that's what I own, so I care about it. We're gonna move this thing in a minute and set this whole deal in the garage. So that brings me to the project. So the project here that we have brought back with us, and it just kind of worked out that way. I didn't go up to Virginia planning to do this, but it's a 2003 Volkswagen Beetle. It has the inline 4 or i4 diesel engine in it, which is why it's kind of desirable. And it has a turbocharger on it. It's a pretty sweet little car. Obviously, it has seen better days. I think it has a little over 300,000 miles on it. So we are definitely gonna do some work to it. Tires are shot, for sure. It was last registered in 2016. That's what the license plate says anyway. And I'm not sure when the last time it was started, but it was probably around that same time. So the diesel fuel in there, it might be good, it might not be good. We're gonna drain out and purge the lines as best we can. It's got your general Volkswagen smells and things from this era. Check out my clearance right there. Got a sweet wasp nest that was murdered hanging out right in there, so we'll kill that later and really get it all out. But yeah, so she's pretty gross. Not really gross, just a lot of wear and tear and age on it. And we're gonna give this thing a solid detail, clean up the inside, underside, and that's pretty much what this video is gonna be. My goal at the end of this video is to get everything cleaned on the outside, get it in the garage, and I can do this crap on the inside. Small interior restoration stuff we're gonna do. New shifter boot probably. Looks like his handle's broken here. Carpet clean everything, get all the trash out. New cushions and seat upholstery. So that should be pretty easy. I've done it on the Dodge and a couple other vehicles, not too bad. Interior wise, that's about it. Looks like the headliner is sagging too, so honestly we can probably take care of that. I didn't notice that, but that's not too bad either, so we'll go ahead and do that for him. Other than that, it's really about it. It's honestly in pretty good shape. It's got a nice paint matched door panel, just needs a really good cleaning. The underside is all gross. I had to come along this thing onto the trailer because it obviously doesn't drive. The main reason it failed was the brake system's pretty much shot, so we're gonna pull apart that and see what's up. The e-brake's broken, the rotors and whatnot are pretty seized. Was able to roll, but not very easily. It needs new tires. We're gonna see if we can clean up these wheels or find some hubcaps for them and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So quite a bit of stuff going on. A lot of it just general maintenance and cleanup. And then while we're at it, we might do a few other things here and there. And probably new headlights just so it looks a little nicer. It does suck. I don't do body work or paint, so the paint's gonna be what it is. I'm gonna hit it with some polish on an orbital pad just to kind of bring a little bit of it back, but that's really the extent of my body knowledge. And I'm not prepping this thing for paint or anything like that. That's about in my wheelhouse. But all the mechanical stuff, I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride. It should be kind of fun. We should get to see how this whole thing works, really. But that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank up the GT500 for you guys and move it next to where the Prius is. That truck is still for sale. I need to get it out of my life at some point. But I'm firm on the price. So 14.5 is where it's been sitting. If you want it, that's where it's at. Otherwise, I don't know, figure it out. Maybe we'll get rid of the Prius and keep the truck, who knows. But you gotta get the GT500 pulled out, put over there so I can move the trailer in here without risking anything. Get it unloaded, get it in the garage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get going. All right, so we got her all lined up. It's gonna be a little interesting unloading this because we need to pull it, this way to get into the garage, but that's not for right now. First things first, gotta go ahead and get this thing. I'm gonna wash it on the trailer and then we'll get it off afterwards. So let's go ahead and get the time lapse washing this thing, get her unloaded. Expedition does a pretty sweet turning radius, so getting the trailer in here was not difficult at all. Should be pretty awesome. And let's go ahead and get this thing in. All right, well that kind of stunk, but it's in here. I need to get a real winch one of these days. Anyway, gave it a quick wash. You guys saw, kind of get a lot of the grime off, so we've been working on it. It's not super gross. Got the wasp nest out of the corner of the door, and pretty much gonna do it for now. So now that it's unloaded, kind of cleaned up a little bit. Got all the crap out of there. Sorry, a lot of grossness. I'm gonna go ahead and put the trailer away, put the ramps away, put it back into my far away place that's out of sight, out of mind, and then go ahead and get working on the bug. Honestly, that might be it for this episode. I'm gonna go put the trailer back, and then next episode we're gonna dive into it. So my plan is pretty much get this thing up on jack stands. We're gonna go ahead and start diagnosing what's going on. Up on jack stands, get the fuel out, probably needs a battery, get new fuel in, purge some of the lines, and kind of go from there. But honestly, doesn't look too bad. Now it's all cleaned up a little bit. There's still a lot of like dark griminess up here that might be able to come off, but for right now it doesn't really matter. Back here is pretty beat, unfortunately. Paint's just chipping up on the bumper, but all in all, not too bad. So should be a fun little project. Hopefully it won't take too long, and then should be done. All right, so I was getting ready to put this trailer away, and looking at the deck, it honestly looks a little bit worse for wear. Unfortunately, it's only been sitting out for a little bit, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint this thing up. So I got some nice wood sealer. Got it in that nice woodish color. Hopefully you guys can see. So I'm gonna flip you guys time lapse. We're gonna paint this thing, and nothing too crazy. I just swept it real quick. That's about all we need, and should be good. So let's go ahead and get this knocked out real quick. All right, well, that looks pretty dang good. Pretty much brand new trailer. But I just want to get some kind of coating on here to protect the wood, because it's going to be stored out in the open. And hell yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So fenders, deck coated, and lights, licensed, registered. We're in business, guys. So that's pretty much going to do it, I think, for this video. Thanks for watching. Next episode is probably going to be something on the bug. If you guys are here for GT500 content, I apologize, but this is the stuff that I really need to get done. And the GT500 is pretty much good to go. So probably get some more racing out here in the near future. But for now, one thing at a time. So trailer's done, bugs in the garage, and kind of keep going. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you're excited about the project. If not, stick around and maybe you will be. But we'll see you guys in the next one, so take it easy.